right. Yes, the stream title is correct. Let me make sure it's showing up on my phone, and then we will get started here. I should have comments on. Still getting used to this. I'm using Streamlabs OBS. Started here. I should have comments on. Still getting used to this. Okay, it seems a little quiet, but it seems good enough. Anyways, let us get started with this video. Poof. There we are. So, this is a clock that I picked up. I forget how much. I think I paid like $3 for it, maybe a little less. It was at Shopko that was closing down nearby. But there's a big issue with it. That hand is loose. So, we need to repair it. Now, I'm winding down on collecting clocks. I've actually already wound down. And I avoid buying any clocks or going and tempting myself because I don't have space right now to put them. And it will be this way for a while, but I got this one because I used to have it in my collection, not in the box, you know. And then I made some not so great decisions, and so my mother had me smash it with a hammer as punishment. Yeah, which, cool. That was several years ago, so. Anyways, also, we have on the front a Star of David, which is not part of the packaging. When I first saw it, I thought it was the upside-down pentagram, but nope, it's not. On further examination and looking up online, it is Star of David. And I grabbed the one alcohol that's not there. So I grabbed the one alcohol that's not open. Yes, an open bottle of alcohol. Now, I thought, so, why Star of David on a random item in... Yeah, why have a Star of David on a random item in the store? Like, it's graffiti, obviously. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit with Jewish culture that would be doing any sort of a thing like that. But then I realized, well, maybe it's a case of, you know, you make them look bad. You're not Jewish, but you want Jewish people to look bad, or you were Jewish and you don't like Judaism anymore. Then you graffiti on places to make them look bad. There we go. It's mostly, there's still a line underneath the sticker that they put on later, but that's good enough for now. Anyways, now, hopefully this should be easy. One thing that I have no idea how to do is if you ever get... if you ever get a clock where all of the hands have fallen off, what do you do then? Because there are some things that are dependent on the mechanism. Like the alarm hand, for example, which actually, I need to grab another clock to fix while we're here. This clock right here, the alarm hand is not in the right position. It fell off once, and I thought I fixed it, but nope. I put it in the wrong position. So the alarm hand is kind of dependent on the other hands, and I think you can kind of figure that out by movement. Also, seconds, too. Now I'm kind of lost. I think the seconds... There's something that is dependent on where the other stuff is, and I think it's like if you don't know where the seconds are supposed to be in the first place, well then, what do? And if you're starting off with a clock, you just put everything at 12. But I don't know. So, now this clock has an interesting feature that I will demonstrate here. Because it's an analog... Sorry I'm speaking with an accent. That happens when I watch YouTubers from other countries that I like. I think I'm Brainiac75. So, I shouldn't do accents because unless I'm trying to be funny but tasteful. So, got our clock plugged in and running a nice blue light. I don't remember mine having a blue light. But, here's the unique thing about the clock. So we're going to turn it on, right? Turn on the alarm. Also, it has a silent sweep. See? Turn it off. Oh. Nope. This does not have the same feature as the other clock. It is not the same clock. Let me check my notes, because I think I have a note of a model number somewhere. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of my notes on my phone. It is, looks like I only have the number for the GE clock, so I'll have to ask around. But the clock that I had looked exactly like this one, right? And the unusual feature is it was part digital, part analog. Because with an analog clock, it does exactly what this one does. When the alarm's on, it's going to ring. If you leave it on, it will keep ringing until the time is passed enough. I think it's like an hour or something, depending on the clock. And then you have the oh, what am I thinking of? Then you have, yeah, and then if you want it turned off, you have to turn it off, and you would leave it off until you go to bed when you turn it back on. Otherwise, it's going to ring same time in the afternoon or at night or whenever. With that one, though, you could turn it on, turn it off, and then back on again, and it would be set to ring the next time. So it would ring only at then 6 in the afternoon. If it was ringing 6 in the morning, flip it off and on again, it would ring 6 in the afternoon. That's a thing that, yeah, that's a thing. Well, it's not the clock I thought it was, but we have it now. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to get the second hand onto 12. And then I'm going to adjust the other hand to be at 12. Short hand is the hour hand. Long hand is... It's backwards. Why? Long hand should be hours because hours are longer than minutes. Which, that's something that I've wanted to do, is to get... I wanted to get a cheap... little more. I wanted to get a cheap clock. Perfect. And I wanted to get a cheap clock and modify it so that what's the word? Yeah, oh, and sorry, I wanted to modify it so that we would have, there we go, case removed, the hands switched around. I'm distracted because I'm also kind of sort of listening to my very loud stepfather, which hopefully you can't hear him because I'm sure he doesn't want to be on live stream. One second, guys. Yeah, what I did didn't work, so, actually, let me check something really quickly on my phone. Because I'm sure he didn't work, so, I'm sure he doesn't work, so, ugh. Yeah, yeah, we're going to move shop. It's going to be a less ideal spot for fixing things and repairing things, but hopefully okay. This isn't about me. This is about him. So, actually, what we need to make some light over here. There we are, there's a little bit of light. So, obviously, this clock was dropped. Okay, so fix for this one should be pretty straightforward. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I was thinking that I wouldn't know where the, I was thinking that I wouldn't know where the minute hand was actually supposed to be. But then I remembered that the hour hand is always past a little ways from the minute hand, and so you can kind of tell where it's supposed to be, because, hey, one watching means this thing is working. So you can kind of tell where it's supposed to be based on the hour hand. And so some clocks don't even have a minute hand, I think, or even a second hand. So we need to get as straight up as possible. Okay, that looks good to me. Now, we should be able to take carefully our plastic hand, try and line it up. There we go. The hand has been smushed back onto place. Now we need to test this, of course, before we put the front cover back on. Then we'll move on to the blue one, and then there's my clock video for late. And I need to make sure that I tell myself that it's okay that I missed this, because I've been working on other projects and things, and I don't know, that's just one thing with me, is there's a lot of little things I do that bother me. And so I just need to make sure that I'm okay with them, and take a deep breath anyways. Okay. So, the big thing will be, does it move over 1 minute? When the second hand reaches all the way around. So, while that's going, I am going to carefully remove housing on this here. Broken piece in the corner of this one that's been glued back into place. Although it's not still very pretty, but eh. And I've thought about getting, there's also that too. I've thought about getting a replacement for this, like, even that's chipped a bit, getting a good quality. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll keep a closer eye on it, watch it when it's actually getting closer to the top. So, let's finish that one first, and then we'll go in and we'll fix this one, this one is going to be a little bit tricky to fix. I'll actually have to run and grab another one of these to show you what I'm talking about, because there's this weird thing where it will start ringing a little bit before the hands aren't like exactly lined up, and maybe the other ones have had problems too, I don't know. It's close, but not quite. So I am just going to gently adjust it a tidge back to the left. Okay, so we'll let that go. I'm going to run into the other room while that's going around again. Yes, it's on its way up. And it is a silent sweep, which I guess is nice. Just about there. Yeah, that looks good enough to me. So, we'll go ahead and reinstall our piece, which I think sticks out wider on the bottom. Go. Snooze works. Okay. Well, actually, no, this does have some digital aspect to it. Because, snooze. Huh, it's not. There we go. That's weird. Snooze, turn it off. Now, we know that that is a digital aspect because it's a clicky button. Whereas, and I'll show you with the good clock, on clocks like these, snooze is a physical mechanism. So, the alarm won't ring until time has, for some reason I can't go backwards. It's probably, see? It has to pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then the snooze physically pops up. It's a physical mechanism, and this isn't. Which I'll demonstrate just a little bit further too, because we also need to demonstrate the alarm thing. So I love the sound of the alarms on these ones. Whoops. See? So the alarm's on, I snooze it, alarm off, alarm on, it doesn't ring again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about. So, I love these things, especially this one. It's so beautiful. Well, needs a little bit of cleaning on top. It's gotten a little bit dirty, but color is nice. So, anyways, we want the alarm to be on. So, according to this, well, let's set our time to 12. 12 even. Okay, so our time is at 12 even, or close enough because the time's still moving. So it starts buzzing right about there. And I think that's just part of the imperfection of the mechanism and it not being perfect. And it really starts ringing there, so it'll start buzzing at around 11 for 12. And you can't be like super specific with these as far as I'm aware. Like you kind of can do like 30 or whatever, but it's not, okay. Also, I believe they're supposed to have a lighted dial. Yep, dial light, but that doesn't work. And, well, that's something that I would like to address. I'm not really sure how you go any deeper in these things, and that's not something that I want to try at the moment. But let's turn on our alarm. Ah! See how bad that is? Yeah, so. There we go. Right off the bat, we can move that closer. So let's actually set our time to 12:12, a little bit stiff. Need to wait for the second hand to go passing by. And I'm going to make it do the same as that clock does, assuming that it works. Because I could line it up. That doesn't... Wait. Unless it's ringing the tail end. We need to check something here. Because I'm realizing it could still be ringing like it's on the tail end of the ring cycle. So let's plug in our orange one that should be working condition and good. I mean, there's no broken plastic. It didn't come from a thrift store. I bought it online. More expensive. So, whoops. So now it's ringing directly at 12. Why can I not move that hand past... That's weird. It won't let me go past that spot there. So. Huh. Well, let's see. So let's say I want my alarm to ring at 10 in the morning, okay? And then... Actually, no. I'm going to do it to 2. Okay, so I want it to ring at 2 in the morning, okay? Time is flying by. Huh. This is a weird... I don't know how this mechanism works and why it rings when you're doing the alarm hand moving. But, I mean, that's pretty close. Whoops. So, let's wind the clock back enough. So, let's say I want actually 2. I'm going to put it at just 1 minute after 2. So, time's coming up. It's getting close to 2 in the morning. I have to go, like, feed the cows or something. Or that's usually 4, isn't it? Nope. Okay. What? There's this weird mechanism where the hands stick together. So I want actual 2, so I set it just after 2. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I assume it is. I can't see the mechanism getting so bad that it would do that. But anyways, just after 2, time's coming, flying by. Nope. Okay. Just on 2. Nope. That is really weird how it moves with it. Okay. Just on the bottom edge of 2. Nope. Perfect. Now, does it let me move hands? I moved the wrong hand. Okay, so it's only when the alarm is engaged that the hands are stuck together. Okay, that makes perfect sense. So. Look. I keep moving the wrong hand. Okay, so it's on the very bottom of our 2 mark. Close enough. So, I'm just going to set it to be dead on, and then see how that works. Okay, I think that's lined up. So, I plug it in. Alarm rings. Okay, so. Oh, this mechanism is so stiff going backwards. Okay. Ah. Something's not right with the mechanism if it's doing that. I might have permanently... This clock might be beyond repair in my hands. Maybe it was even broken before I touched it. Before I dropped it. And I don't think that might have come from me dropping it, but it was actively in use for a while, sort of, along with like 5 or 10 other clocks, and it fell off my nightstand. That is not... But... So what do I do? So then if my hand... Oh, whoops. My hands are set 12-12. My alarm stiff is 12-12. No ring. That rings. Let's set my alarm... Oh, wow, that is stiff. It only wants to go one way. Needs like some oil or something. This is horrible. Thankfully, it's not running all the time. Also, the churning noise I don't think is good. Means it needs clock oil. And I don't know how to oil a clock. I've looked up, and at some point I want to make a good high-quality actual clock repair series with somebody who knows about it. Because there is a series online, but the problem is that it was made like 2010, 2014, somewhere around there. It's 480p, and it's not very good, and so I'm like squinting at the screen of the little free demo that he has. Otherwise, you pay like $50 for it. Oy. And it's like, I think I see what you're talking about, but it's fuzzy, and I can't really tell. And I'm sorry, man, this needs an upgrade to be worth it. Maybe. So, anyways. So the alarm's on. If all goes according to plan, which it won't, it should ring. Okay. It is not ringing at 1 o'clock. So the only thing I can think of is to actually, and I don't know how I would get at it, but to actually move the post that the hand is on. But I don't think that would help. Wait a minute. So... Oh, I'm lost. But I was thinking, because my original plan was you get the alarm to ring, and then you line the hand up with the 12-12 or whatever time it's set at. So let's do that. Let's try that again and see what happens here. Okay, so first of all... Okay. So... That is 1 o'clock, exactly. We'll let the... Well, it's going to be a little bit after 1 o'clock. Hold on here, let's do this right, okay? So we need to let the second hand go all the way around to the top. This is one reason why I stopped having all of my clocks running and all of them synced up. Because it's too much of a pain to wait for the second hand to be just right, then move the dials to the right position, and then wait for one of your other clocks to get to the 0 second on the next minute, and then plug it in, really. It just, no. Oh. And also, I learned that Clock Museum, I forget which one, but it doesn't have all of its clocks running at once. So. Also, there's that annoying backwards thing where for some reason you get a bit of reverse polarity when you plug it in just right. And it runs backwards for a second. Boom. That is close enough, okay? So. Now what I need to do is I need to move this so that it lines up at okay. Up, that's a little bit too much. Okay, it's lined up pretty good. Plug it back in. The alarm is not going off now. That is... Oh! It's going off now. Okay, so. Now what we'll do is we'll... I don't want to change this. Okay. So. Squeak our time back. Okay, so it should ring. No. I give up. I honestly, legitimately, with what I'm doing, it's not capable of fixing it. There's something else stuck with the mechanism. Probably needs oil and smoothing. And this is just going to go back on the shelf and look beautiful. Stop. Same thing with all of these other clocks, and I do have some clocks in there. Actually, I'll take you guys in and show you guys that at the end of this, as the end of this video. That one's gonna stay for a second because it doesn't have a home. I need to grab stuff, but let's just quickly go flip you around to look at me. By the way, we're streaming from my Galaxy Tab S4. It's going to be a little bit messy in here, and I'm trying to avoid showing the mess, but... Okay, bunch of shipping materials. I got smart and realized this was like last year, when I had a whole bunch of stuff coming in. If I ever need to ship something, well, I've got free shipping materials. So, yeah, anyways. Let's get you guys pointed at the right stuff, and boom. So, clocks collection. So these two are going back on the shelf up here. And this is all going to be moved out completely. I'll probably use this for more storage stuff in my room. But my studio upstairs is going to be turned into like a clock museum, sort of. As part of my lovely collection. So there's that right there. I like that. And then, if we pan down, we have more clocks and a car on that shelf. And then even lower, that was supposed to be a nice display shelf, but it's turned into a storage place for various clocks and things. And some of those clocks are running. Like you can see the Timex one down below. That one's really loud. Uncomfortably loud beep. My ears hurt. And then also the West Clocks one, both covered in dust. Everything's covered in dust in here. those ones I'm actually going to take offline right now to increase longevity, and they're not set to the right time. They are literally not doing anything. I just never took them offline. I don't even remember. I'm sure this one came from a thrift shop, but I don't even remember when I got it. Cool. Oh. Actually, one second. I really want to show you guys. I want to show you guys, speaking English, the light. Actually, I need to turn off the light to show you the light. So, that has, will it focus? Probably not. There's no tap to focus on this too. Has a nice bluish light, but the West clocks I really like, with its, Timex with its Indiglo. Has a nice amberish color. Try and show that better later on. Anyways, let me show you really quickly, because, oh goodness, that's loud. Very loud. Anyways. This one, I know it came from a friend, because I invited him to my birthday party. He asked what he should get, if anything, and I said, you can go to the thrift store and pick up a clock for me, because I collect clocks. A simple, easy gift, and he said this one looked interesting, and it actually kind of is interesting. It's nice and portable. Have I shown you guys the circular one? I need to show that one and take its batteries out too. I think, wait, is this running? Oh, this one's running as well. This little Amber Glow. Oh, Amber Glow is my favorite. Okay. And, you know, one thing, too, I realized with also very stiff dial. Like, you really have to have energy and be awake to turn your alarm off and then back on again so it rings next morning in the AM. One thing that, you know, I realized is good also about not having all these clocks running all the time is if I ever wanted to and or needed to use one for some reason, like my phone wouldn't work for something, or like I can give my kids one of these to use as an alarm before they have a phone, you know, if they want to try waking up, or if I need an alarm for them to be up at certain times. But I foresee that my phones will have electronic devices pretty young, but they're also going to be monitored with their use of it. And I'm going to teach them to naturally have a balance between things so that they will naturally want to go do other stuff. It's not this, how long are they spending, my tablet has to lock them out after they've been on YouTube for several hours. It should be just a natural, they want to go and do things. So I'll use those tools if I have to, but I hope I don't. I'm going to start from the ground up and make it good. But this thing right here, I don't know if I've shown this one yet. This one's a very unique, interesting clock. So the story is, I was at Sabres getting clothes with my mom, and then I saw this clock, and it was like super unique, but I was like, but I'm running out of room, and no, I shouldn't. I'm not going to get it. But so then as we were leaving the parking lot, I'm like, wait, hold on, Mom, I have to go back and at least just get a picture of it, because it is so unique, and I want to find it again. And when I was back in there, I grabbed some photos of, it's supposed to have a Timex logo on it, but it's come off somehow, I think. But I looked online to see if I could find it anywhere, and I was able to kind of find it on some sites, and it was definitely more expensive than I would have bought there. And so then I grabbed, and I'm like, I gotta get it. So I walked up to the front, and there was a nice, somewhat elderly woman, around 60s or so. She had some gray hair, and she had just finished buying her clothes, and then she was like, here, I'll buy that for you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I forgot to get you a birthday present, whenever it was. There you go. And this was, I think this was before Christmas sometime. So, first of all, it's an interesting design that reminds me of some of those Apple speakers that they had early, like 2010 or so, with their Macs. It has temperature in the bottom corner, along with date, or the day and the date. Just the month and the date, no year. And I don't know how to set all of that. There's a lot of buttons. It's got a timer on here. Down and up buttons, your time set. You got modes. It lights up too. And the temperature set is very, very, like, I want to see how accurate it is, because last time I checked, it took a ridiculous amount of time to actually change. So, can I actually show you guys without smashing my tripod? Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust. There we go. So, what does that say? You can kind of see, but I can. That actually, it says about 75 on there, and this says about 75, but it's slow to respond. Like, I put it in the freezer for 5 minutes one time, and it didn't really change much at all. So I think that it's inside of the plastic somewhere, and it's not. It could be this piece up here as the temperature sensor, but holding that doesn't make the temperature jump. So I suspect that it's inside of the sphere somewhere, and that's acting as a buffer, so it doesn't change as quickly. But here's the real thing that makes this so unique. Got a little bit of a sleep thing going on there, so you can fall asleep to sounds. Frogs. Some water. The water one actually would sound really nice if it wasn't such a horrible speaker on the bottom. Like, if they made this whole thing be essentially a speaker, that would be nice. Yep, there's the sounds, and it lights up, and it's so unique and cool. And yeah, so from what I see or know of it, only thing I would change is move the temperature sensor somewhere. I don't know, I have to look up a manual for this thing. It's cool. Yeah, also, I showed this to one of my friends, and he was looking at it, and like, it's just a clock, you know. He didn't say that, but I could tell he was thinking that it's just an interesting clock. And then I pushed the button, and his face was... His face was pretty much just, okay, that's weird. Why does it do that? Anyways, let's take this offline, and then I'm going to cut to the video. This takes 3 batteries, which actually seems appropriate for all the functions it has. You would want it to have some good juice and last a while. So we'll put it back down there. Ooh, next to this thing. This is a pen that has 10 different colors. And each color is a different scent. So, like, black is like black licorice, I think. I don't know. But these batteries are interesting. INS. SIN. S-I-N. No, SNI. SNI batteries, made in China. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream there. And these batteries I am actually going to be putting inside of just a plastic baggie and sticking on the shelf there. So I'll have them to put back in the clocks if I ever need to, because they're still somewhat good. And I'll see you guys in whatever's next.